Hello, my name is Jesus Najar, and 10 years ago I had the honor and privilege of being an intern for the Rockfish Valley Foundation for the creation and development of the Nelson Scenic Loop. This was an innovative heritage tourism initiative that it was launched by the local community, spearheaded by Betsy and Peter Agelasto, Liz Sargent, and other local Nelson County residents to highlight and showcase the natural and historic assets of their area, centered around a 50-mile driving tour that connected different spots along Route 151, the Blue Ridge Parkway, and other local highways in the Nelson County area. During this time, we had done a lot of research to come up with a database and an informational map and website that would document every single important spot along this 50 drive mile that would attract visitors and create a cohesive tourism experience in rural Virginia. This our work included the documentation of not only historic sites along the way, but also providing access and information to the existing hiking trails, scenic lookouts along the Blue Ridge Parkway, and other outdoor opportunities such as Crabtree Falls and the trout and fish hatcheries that are in the Montebello area. There was a lot of work that was done to really highlight and showcase the beauties, the vistas, the local pride, the local crafts and food as well that encompass and make this area so rich and so unique. During these 2 years, we partnered with different groups and residents to get their input and feedback on what areas we needed to show. When you check the Nelson Scenic Loop website, you'll find an abundance of resources and information on the history, starting from Native American and archaeological findings that we have in the area, to the immigration of Scotch-Irish groups through the mountains and their built legacy in the area. We have a good number of historic plantations from the colonial times, and also an impressive amount of African American historic resources in cemeteries, schoolhouses, and churches that still make part of this amazing historic landscape. Other aspects that are continuously highlighted are the agricultural legacy of these valleys. Throughout the seasons, you'll see as you travel throughout the route how you can see different type of crops and harvest seasons for all the products, agricultural products that are produced in this part of Nelson County. So this provides an amazing experience to all the visitors that usually only thought of this part of the county as a destination for winter resort activities, represented by Wintergreen Resort. The Nelson Scenic Loop provides as an alternative, more local way to experience and enjoy what Nelson County has to offer.
Thank you, Jesus. We are very proud of the work you did. The Nelson Scenic Loop website has been hit so many times we don't even count it. We're also proud of the work that you're doing in historic work now, and pleased to have you in Virginia. 10 years ago, part of our introduction was a press release. So we figured we needed to have a press release to celebrate the 10th. You can go to the two websites, rockfishvalley.org and nelsonscenicloop.com and see our current press release. I'll just cover a couple of things for you. I want to tell you what we did 10 years ago because it was memorable for all of those of you who are seeing this and were there. We pulled 2 classic car company groups into Spruce Creek Park. They were the Classic Car Group of Charlottesville and the Model A Club of Virginia. They brought over 24 cars. It was a treat. Those cars all left in a mass down 151 south over Brent's Gap and pulled into Max Market, where they were handed their picnic lunches, fried chicken, of course. And then they motored up 56 west to Fausalia, where Foxy Morgan had laid out a picnic area for them. It was a beautiful day. They left and headed up to the parkway, found their way to Reed's Gap, and down back to Spruce Creek Park. So we can't do that again, but we suggest that each of you fix your own picnic, go to the website, study it, and take the loop. You'll have just as much of a trip. But now we've got this website, which we didn't have completed at that time. And it's a real education about the Rockfish watershed and the Tye River watershed. So how can we go forward and do something better for the community with the Nelson Scenic Loop? How can we make it more yours? It will always be a tourist attraction. It's one of the top things on the list of anyone who comes to the Wintergreen Resort, and it's publicized. But how about us here in the community? We at the Rockfish Valley Foundation build our capacity with community volunteers. And you go to the website of rockfishvalley.org to the volunteer site and see what our policies are, what our philosophy is, and even an application. But let's think about the Nelson Scenic Loop. Some years ago, we thought about having an event. We thought about having a very popular blog where people posted pictures from their visits, asked questions, got answers. We thought about how to celebrate the loop with our geology. Back then we didn't have the resources. Now, through William and Mary, Chuck Bailey, his field class students, we have done an incredible amount of study and created so much material on the geology of Nelson, the rockfish, the Tye. We could have quarterly or annual events on the parkway talking about the geology. The same is true of the flora and the fauna. But how about an event? Would you believe there are over 16 churches along the 50-mile loop? What if we had a day each year when those churches opened all together to the public, offered food for sale, offered other products for sale, crafts, rummage sale, you name it? What if their representatives also gave tours of their churches and talked about their communities? Would that be of value? Should we seek volunteers to consider that? Let us know. Let us know. So we've celebrated 10 years. Let's go forward into the future. Thank you for listening.